So last week we covered the discussion of the individual who worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for an X amount of years from Banu Israel. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he was being judged by Allah, he said, Ya Allah, Jazakallah khair. He said, Allah said, I'm entering you into Jannah through my mercy. So he said, Ya Allah, I don't want it through your mercy. I want it because I worshipped you for hundreds of years. So that's why I want it based on my actions. And Allah said, just go with my mercy. And he continued to know, Ya Allah, I want to go through my actions. So I said, okay, through your actions. Then just the water that's been being provided to keep your eyes moist, who's going to pay the bill for that? And all your ibadah is just for that one bill. So they say, Ya Allah, your rahmah, your mercy. So, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't act. So we can skip this first paragraph and go on from the second one. Yeah. From the, yeah, go down. From here, yeah. Go ahead, continue.
Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, evaluate your works before you are asked to account for them.
Hasibu anfusakum. This is a concept called muhasaba. Muhasaba means self-analyzation. We get really offended when other people critique us and take out our faults. And at the same time, we critique others. This is our life. We go to a restaurant, we Yelp it. It's a 2-star, 3-star food was meh. We go to, even though like most of us probably don't know how to cook. And when we cook, we like destroy the kitchen. And the food comes out in like whatever way it does, unrecognizable. And we look at it and we're like, oh, this tastes so good. And we take it to everybody in the house. Doesn't it taste good? They're like, this is most amazing. And they're like subpar. If honestly someone was to sell your brownies somewhere outside, you'd be like, no, I'm not paying for that. But because they came from you, automatically has this self-value to it, right? We can't take self-criticism. And it's important for us to take a moment every night and reflect on that day's actions. I mean, I don't know if you guys still do diaries or if that's a thing in Generation Z. Is diary still a thing? What are you guys, Z or X?
Z.
You're Z? Who's X? Generation X?
X was like my parents.
Oh, the boomers?
After the boomers, before the millennials.
Where did Y go?
Y is millennials.
So we're Y. Okay. So go analyze yourself, right? And every day, if you have a book, get a book. Write your mistakes down. Write the things that you've made a fault in. Write something good you did. Something positive you did. Someone's feelings you hurt. A word or something that you said that you didn't notice. Because our words have a big impact on other people. And then go back. At the end of the week, make it a point. Just read through your book. You are going to read through your book one day, right? Your book of deeds. Might as well make a rough draft of it before, so that the final copy is better. And you're able to kind of really look at yourself and be like, I need to change this aspect. This wasn't right. This wasn't wrong. Because we don't really think about what we've already done. We get into an argument, it's done, right? We don't really think about it. But that muhasaba is very important. Our teachers used to tell us that at nighttime, while you're lying down in your bed, that is when you go through, restart your day from the morning. I wasted this time. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this thing good. I accomplished this much. If you accomplish, you motivate yourself to do more. If you don't accomplish, you end up doing less. And that's a very important and integral. Hasibu qabla an tuhasabu. Account for yourself before Allah accounts for you.
Ali said, those who think that they can achieve their aims without working or dreaming, and those who think that they will attain the goal through exertion alone are self-confident and consider themselves self-sufficient. So he says that
there's two types of people, right? Some people, they say that, oh, it'll happen. You know, the really chilled out people. It'll get done. You ever been on a vacation with somebody who's like just doesn't like planning or doing anything? They're like, yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get there. We'll take a day as it goes. And then you have that one person that likes to plan everything. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys are people that like to plan everything on a vacation? I'm that person, right? I hate just winging it. How many of you are like, we'll get there and we'll figure out how it goes. Take it day by day. Some people here. Do you ever feel that people sometimes get like agitated with that? Right? And to you, you're just like, dude, relax. It's a vacation. The whole purpose of the vacation is that you're not, am I right? Right, okay. So he says that a person who's trying to get into Jannah and just like chilled out, like, yeah, we're going to get to Jannah. Just chill. Allah will get us there somehow. He says, you're mutmain, and he's like, you got too much hopes. He's like, al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. A smart person is the one who, dana means that you measure yourself, you account for yourself. Wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. And you act for the next life. وَالْعَاجِزُ مَنْ أَتْبَعَ نَفْسَهُ هَوَاهَا وَتَمَنَّى عَلَى اللَّهِ الْأَمَانِ. And the one who is weak and the one who is irresponsible, they say, oh, Allah's Ghafurur Rahim, Allah will forgive us. It's okay. I'm content with like economy Jannah or basic economy Jannah. I don't care about business Jannah or first class Jannah. No, I get into Jannah, that's more than enough for me. So have you guys seen that survey that I'm trying to do?
Yes.
How many of you seen that survey? So not everybody. So I'll post that. So remind me to post that survey up. So I did this survey, and the initial goal is that to get 300 people to take the survey. It's measuring the emotional and psychological factors that affect Muslim youth and that causes spiritual crisis or leads towards atheism. And the initial sample size was supposed to be 300. And alhamdulillah, as of now, we're at like 750 nationally across the United States. It popped off. And one of the things that one person commented, they were like, don't judge me. There's a little comment box at the end, right? Like you can just share your thoughts or whatever. So one person was like, look, I hate it when people judge me. I get it. I'm going to burn in hell for a little bit, but like I'll end up going to Jannah, right? I'll end up going to paradise, right? So it's that thing that, look, I'm okay with going to Jannah a little late, but this isn't like you're going to the party a little late, like Desi Standard Time to Jannah. Like that's not what it is. It's a place you're going to be stuck for eternity. And that's where you're going to be. And do you really want to have a regret till eternity that I could have done more? Like when you're in high school, you regret, like, yo, if you get into one university or another university, whether you're in Collin and you want to get into UTD, you're like, I should have grinded more. I wasted my time. Maybe you're trying to get to UT Austin, I don't know. And you're like, I should have grinded more. Or your class happens, you fail a class, or you don't do well, or you get bad on the paper. What do you say? I should have done more. But at that time, you were just content with where it's going. But he says that, no, that's foolish. Mutamin, you're foolish at the time. And he's saying the second person is the one that thinks that, no, my actions are alone. Like, this is enough for me. That's arrogance in there. Because our actions will always have deficiency in them. No matter what you do. No one can do an action perfectly. We're imperfect individuals. We can't bring something perfectly. And that's what we have to realize when we deal with other people as well. That when you are being dealt with, you have a certain perfect mind that this is how the program should go. This is how the party should go. This is how the event should go. This is how the vacation should go. But you're all imperfect people. How can you produce something perfect? Whereas there will always be deficiencies. Accept it. When we pray salah, our salah has so much deficiency in it. We're thinking about this thing or that thing, or our wuzu was like that. But Allah, inshallah, will still accept it despite its deficiency. Now, you don't go to Allah and say, no, I prayed salah. I want you to measure my salah. We know. No, Allah, just take it for its face value and just accept it. You know, when you write a paper and you're like, I just hope the teacher does not read it. When I was studying, we had one teacher, we used to joke around. I don't think he ever read any exam paper. He just weighed them. If they felt heavy, you got a good grade. If they didn't feel heavy, so we just pack it up with papers, 30, 40 papers, and just slide it in. There's, this one, mashallah, 85, 90 to this one. He had husnul dhan. He had good thoughts of us. So anyway, everyone's going to have some level of deficiency in it, right? And you don't want to be scrutinized for that level. So do whatever actions it is. Don't abandon good deeds. Do good deeds. Try. Even if it's one good deed a day. It's better than yesterday where you did no good deed. Maybe it's that one good... Allah doesn't, on the Day of Judgment, I tell you guys this all the time, He doesn't count deeds. He measures them. Maybe your subhanallah has so much more sincerity in it than my entire life's prayer and hajj and everything in. Maybe you just said it once with so much love to Allah. Or you said, Astaghfirullah, Ya Allah, forgive me, once. And that was more powerful than all of our actions. The famous stories of the woman who committed adultery. And when the capital punishment was leveled against her, her blood splattered on Umar radiallahu anhu. It splattered on her. And immediately he spoke, he said, look, this adulteress's blood. Like, he spoke ill of her, like he called her out. And Umar is not, radiallahu anhu, is not a small-time person. لو كان النبي بعدي لكان عمر بن الخطاب. The Prophet ﷺ said if prophethood didn't end, Umar would be the next prophet. When he heard this, the Prophet looked at Umar, he was like, لقد تابت توبة لو قسمت بين 70 من أهل المدينة لوسعتهم وهل وجدت أفضل من أن جادت بنفسها لله تعالى عز وجل. He says, Umar, for real? She did such a tawbah. Her one tawbah was the defining factor of her life. And that one tawbah would have forgiven the entire city of Medina if it was spread over the whole of Medina. Khalid bin Walid one time made the same remark when blood splattered on him. He said, Khalid, Ma'az al-Aslami radiallahu anhu. He went. These are Sahaba whose legacy was zina. Their legacy that we know them today by is their adultery. But they enjoy a place in Jannah more than a person who never even thought of adultery, because their tawbah was so powerful. There's never a point in your life where you've gone too far to come back to Allah. That's what the whole meaning of tawbah means. The moment you do it, you've returned back to Allah. Tawbah literally means to come back. There's no moment in your life you've gone too far. There's no low in life with Allah's relationship. And none of us know who's got a stronger relationship. There is no way I can ever even think for a second in my mind that my relationship to Allah is closer than any one of your relationships. Because who knows? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes something that you do more than my entire life. So when it spilled on him, and Khalid bin Walid made a remark, the Prophet said, Khalid, for real? Like, you really saying this? This man is swimming in Jannah right now. He's swimming in the rivers of Jannah while you're still on earth right here. So from where I see it, I'm paraphrasing this. From where I see it, the man already got Jannah, the objective you're still trying to attain. And what was his cause? It was the zina that he made. I'm not telling you go around do zina and then come back and say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. No, right? Because Allah forgives when there isn't you don't do it on purpose. And then you don't flaunt it. That's another thing. The Prophet ﷺ said Allah forgives all sins besides the sins in our language, you post. There was a time, when we were growing up, like when we went to a party or something, like we just hid it from our parents. Like we don't want our parents to know. We don't want this person or this uncles or aunties not. Now it's like you put it, I'll just put my parents on private. And they're all excited that I'm on my kid's Snapchat. They don't know that you're on. We used to make 2 accounts. Now you don't need to. You just put one account and you just put the other one with close friends. But then you post it. Now that one sin has been witnessed by so many people. And now these are witnesses in the trial of the day of judgment against you. And you flaunted, you made a mistake, but you flaunted it in front of Allah. And some of us get excited that, I got viral, this one got so many views, or this is my TikTok video of me dancing. Oh. But those 100 people or 200 people that on the day of judgment, Allah will call and say, you saw it, right? So the sin of you seeing it, they also get this sin. Not only do you get the sin, but them viewing you commit a sin, doing their haram, dressing how you dress or whatever. So if you are weak inside, that's your journey and struggle to Allah. But don't be proud of it. That's far worse than the sin itself, the pride over the sin. That's far worse. Continue.
Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah said, seeking and demanding paradise without actions is a sin from amongst the sins.
Say that again?
Seeking and demanding paradise without actions is a sin from amongst the sins.
He says that talabul jannah bila amal dhanbun min adh-dhunub. He says that if you want to get to Jannah, but you're like, your life doesn't show any effect of it. There's no change of it. He's like, this in itself is a sin. You're asking for something that you have no motivation to actually accomplish. It's like that entitled person. You ever see that person who wants everything from a friendship, but doesn't want to give back? Is that not a crime in itself? You want everything for you, but when it comes to you doing something, then you're just like, you're like a straight freeloader. Obviously, Allah is more magnanimous and He's more compassionate. And He's trying to drive a point, right? That just don't be content. And like I said, do one action more. Everyone make an intention right now that if you can pray more, pray more. If you can't, just one subhanallah a day or one astaghfirullah. I like to start with astaghfirullah because astaghfirullah literally means what?
Forgive me.
Is that all? Is that all it means, that Allah forgive me? What does astaghfirullah mean? When you enter a bathroom, what's the dua you read? When you exit the bathroom, what dua do you read? What does ghufranak mean?
You are the all forgiving.
So ghufran is masdar, right? So it means forgive me. For what? For stinking the place up? No, that's not a sin. There's no sin of like smelling bad. Yeah, you can annoy somebody with that, but it's not a sin. Why are you asking Allah for forgiveness when you exit the bathroom? The scholars have about 10 opinions on this. One opinion is غفرانك لا كفرانك. Oh Allah, forgive us. Don't make us amongst those who are ungrateful to you. The second opinion is that, Ya Allah, while we are in the bathroom, we didn't get a chance to do dhikr of you. The third opinion is that, Ya Allah, we have defiled your earth, so forgive us for this. There's multiple opinions. However, the word ghafara, which means what in Arabic? What does ghafara mean? Forgive, to forgive, right? It comes from the astaghfirullah, ghafoor, all this is the same word. How many of you speak Arabic here? Where are our Arab speakers? What are you guys in, like, beginners level 1 class? Medina Books 1? Ghafara comes from the Arabic word mighfar. Does anyone know what mighfar means? No. That was good. I like how you used ismul ala for it. But no. What's a mighfar? Someone who speaks Arabic. You know what a mighfar is? No? You know what a mighfar is? What do you guys, the Egyptian dialect or something? Lebanese? All right, we excuse you then. Anyone else? No. Mighfar means helmet. What does a helmet do? Also, what does it do? It protects you, but what does it also do? It hides you. So when you are asking Allah for forgiveness, you're not only saying, Ya Allah, forgive me, but you're also saying, Ya Allah, hide my sin. It's not just a one-sided sentence. That one thing is, Ya Allah, forgive me. The second thing is, Ya Allah, hide that sin so I don't get exposed. Neither in this dunya, neither in the hereafter. And the reason we say it when we exit the bathroom is that just the way you hid me when I was in my most disgusting state. You can be the most beautiful person, but if somebody sees someone like that, you can't take that memory away. It's gone. They're scarred for life. But Allah put a casted covering over you. And He said, Ya Allah, just as you casted my covering at this moment, cast a covering over me in the rest of my life as I exit from here as well. Ghufranak. Go ahead.
He also said, the sign of attaining reality is in giving up regard for work, not in giving up the work. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu.
He said the purpose that you're supposed to do. By work, he means good deeds. He said that don't put your hopes in the good deeds, but don't give up the good deeds at the same time. Don't think I'm deserving or entitled because of this. I had a student of mine that I was talking to, and he told me, he was like, we're talking about, everyone's got his unique quality in them, right? Someone's got something. And this student of mine just has a very soft heart. So he was talking about the challenges of having a soft heart. When you have a soft heart, what usually ends up happening to you?
You get hurt.
You get hurt, right? So how do you solve that? How would you solve? I want to hear it from you guys, actually.
Come harder.
Huh?
Soft harder.
Okay. Anyone else?
Protect yourself.
Protect yourself? How?
Don't be as open.
Okay.
The world.
Okay. You still feel that little loneliness inside, right? That you're looking for something. You're looking for a friendship or a relationship, or there's something still left inside you. So how do you really solve the problem of having a soft heart? One thing is, he said, get a heart harder, but then you lose yourself in it. Isn't that what makes you special, having that soft heart? So how do you solve it? Make better friends, okay. But no matter how good of friends you do, there's someone's gonna let you down. If you're soft, you become more sensitive, you catch feelings quickly. You're so what's the solution?
Have Allah in your heart.
Have Allah in your heart, okay.
Forgive.
But that doesn't mean that you still won't be hurt.
As I forgive.
Forgive, it's hard to forgive. Is it not?
But not for a person who has a soft heart.
They get hurt for a long time. So they can forgive, but the pain remains inside. They forgive verbally, but not really. I'm not questioning his integrity and intention, but I'm being real. Would you agree or disagree with me?
We agree.
Okay. You'd agree? I'm glad you didn't mansplain for everybody. Go ahead, Mataf.
Based off the quote, reality is in giving up regard for the work, not giving up the work. It doesn't mean you stop making friends, per se, just because you have a soft heart and that you've gone through these experiences where you got hurt. But it does mean understanding that who is meant to be in your life will be in your life, and who isn't meant to be in your life won't be in your life, and that is the will of Allah. And internalizing that to some degree lessens the pain. It won't ultimately take all of it away, because one of the conditions of having a soft heart is that you feel a little bit more. But if you start internalizing things like that, where you know what's meant to be for you will be there, I feel like that's helpful.
I like that answer. And I'll consolidate that in a few words, which is don't have expectations. Because expectations lead to disappointment. The reason we get hurt is because, dude, I'm always there for you when you need to talk to me. But when I need something, then you're ghosting me. So my expectation led me to get hurt. Not that person individually. But then you always have that one friend that you do things for, that one person you do things for, the person on the street. You do some charity, something. You don't expect them to do anything back for you, right? They don't. They don't even say thank you. Do you get hurt? Do you walk out driving home and you're like, oh my God, that person did it? No, because you had no expectation of this person. Don't have expectations. Do it. إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. And it's consolidated what the Ansar used to say, that we do our hospitality and we do our charity. What we do it for Allah. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. We don't even want something in return. I'm sorry, we don't even want to thank you. Because we want it 100% paid by Allah. We don't even want you to enter because what I have done with what sincerity and love and genuineness that I had done, neither your thank you can ever repay me, neither your favors or anything can ever repay me. Because you're doing it back because I did something. But my Allah can give me more and 10 times more than what I have done for you. Therefore, I don't want it back from you. My Allah will give it to me. And when you walk in with that mentality, the soft heart will make you a better person. And you won't be hurt by what people are doing because you don't expect a return from them. You're doing it because you're a good person. And no person's heart or no person's harm will make you a bad person. It won't change you as an individual. Doesn't matter what breakup it is. Doesn't matter what who's done you dirty with money or what. It doesn't matter because you're a good person. You don't pay me back? It's fine. Allah will give it back to me. You know what? You don't appreciate me? Allah will put someone in my life that will appreciate me. And at the end of the day, my Allah still appreciates me because He still made me a person who cares. Is this going to happen every week?
Yeah, I'll turn it.
Oh, that's your computer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's... No, you're fine. It's okay. It's good for me to know the time. Like I said, we shouldn't have expectations. Do you continue?
Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the wise man is he who judges himself and works for what is after death.
الكيس من دان نفسه وعمل لما بعد الموت والعاجز من أتبع نفسه هواها وتمنى على الله الأماني. Allah's Ghafurur Rahim. Allah will forgive me. I'm okay with level 1 Jannah, economy Jannah. But do you really want to be stuck in it? Do you really want to be in that position? Like, when you're like, I'm, in college when you enter, and most of it hasn't, I don't ever have anyone raise their hand, but people who switch majors, right? It happens for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is because, like, they didn't put a lot of effort when they were supposed to, so they can't cope up with it, and now they're in a different major. Now, there is this level that at that time I was just chilling, I was just enjoying the college life, the Thursday night blunt, what is it? Puff, pass, there it was, right? I was just enjoying the life, we were just partying, we were having a good time, but then now I realize that I just can't, how much can I cheat? I can just cheat, there's a finite level of cheating. And after that, I'm on my own. And my waste of time and my hopes are going to catch up to me. And that's with everything in life. Those who chilled in high school and those who grinded through, they're in a different place today. It's all about you. Your life is a constant reminder of the hereafter. Your elementary school was a life in its own. The middle school became its hereafter. Then when you entered middle school, that became the life. And high school became the hereafter. Now when you were in high school, that became your life, and then college became the hereafter. You're reaping the rewards, the relationships, all that stuff from what you did in high school. You're reaping it in college today. You're with some people, you're not with some people. Some people made it to this university, some did not. I don't want to give the example of Jannah and Jahannam here, but neither there's Jannah, neither I want to say that the others went to Jahannam. But you get the idea that some people aren't with you, and how much does it hurt that you're close with a friend? And when they have to go to a different university, you're not with them any longer, you feel like, 4 years, how am I going to do this without them? Like, we were once so close. Imagine going in the hereafter and entering Jannah and not being with a friend. Like, imagine missing out over there. That's not a 4-year transition. No, it's gone, it's done. And then your college, you have another chance at life. Because what you do in this, you're going to sow for the rest of your life, the hereafter of the metaphorical hereafter of your life. G, continue.
The fool is he who pursues his desires and vainly longs for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the exalted. Sixth counsel, intention. My dear son, how many nights have you remained awake seeking knowledge and reading books, forbidding yourself the pleasure of sleep? I do not know for what purpose you did this. If it was for attaining worldly benefits and securing its vanities, its status and position, and asserting your superiority over your peers and brothers, then woe to you and again woe. But if your purpose was to revive the Sharia...
So you know how sometimes we're like, I have an Islamic page, like I make these Islamic videos, follow me, and this, you know, we get this, we go into this Islamic mode, right? And it turns into more self-promotion. Or it comes into, I need to monetize off of this. If that is the intention behind it, then you've lost all purpose of the action itself. Because if it was the dunya you wanted, you should have just went down the right route of the dunya. You would have gotten far more, and then you should have done the deen in charity. Allah would give you more reward. But if you're monetizing off of the deen, then neither will you get the deen, neither will you get the dunya, because you can't make that much dunya with deen. And you've also ransomed off your dunya. And that is why the scholars would even, there was a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that hafiz, that reciter, who recites for recognition or for wealth or to just make it like their type of financial revenue. Then on the day of judgment, they will come in front of Allah without skin on their skulls. Khadash, they will have nothing on their faces. It will just be bones. And there was, for the longest time, it was considered impermissible for scholars or imams to take any compensation. And that was because they had a Muslim treasury and they would fund them. Nowadays we don't. So yes, you need to have a certain earning, but then you also shouldn't abuse. And it shouldn't turn into this whole capitalistic thing that every class is charged now. Right? We have this pay-per-view. Every single class is charged now. I'm very against a hard charge on classes. Like fundamentally and principally, I'm against that. I think, yeah, if you need to take costs, get serious from students, all that, that's fine. But when it comes down to a point where other people are made uncomfortable, you have to stand before Allah. And there's a hadith of the Prophet, Man katama ilman allamahu Allah, uljima yawma bil qiyamati bil jami min an-nar. If you hide knowledge or you do not present it to the masses that Allah has given you, then on the day of judgment, just as a horse has a rein in its mouth, there will be a rain of fire in your mouth. Like these are some very severe things. Like and that transcribes to everybody else, right? If you know something good, pass it on. Don't just stay quiet about it. You see someone doing something wrong, and you're like, nah, I don't want to be that person. That modesty is not good modesty, it's bad modesty. It's blameworthy praise. It's blameworthy modesty. Because your haya now is stopping you from helping somebody else. So that's not a good thing. You should say it. You shouldn't call them out in a bad way, but with hikmah, with wisdom, you should say it. So going back on that perspective, that where did he say? That so the entire night that you are you're doing ibadah, keep intention clear. A student asked me today, they called me and they said, I do things, but how do I know my intention is pure? How do I know that I have sincerity? So he said, I'm constantly questioning my sincerity, but I know when I have pride or something, I'm able to identify it and I'm able to work on myself. But the other times I don't know. And I'm questioning my sincerity all the time. That am I really being sincere? So I quoted what Imam Ghazali said in Ihya. He said, if you think you have sincerity, فَإِخْلَاصُكَ يَحْتَاجُ إِلَى الْإِخْلَاصِ. He says, if you think you have sincerity, then your sincerity needs sincerity. A person who says, I'm sincere, that means your sincerity needs to be sincere. But the one who's not sincere is constantly questioning their sincerity. And that is the sign of you being sincere. Because when you do waver off and you have pride or arrogance, you can clock it immediately. And all other times, you're genuinely sincere. Are you following what I said? Does that make sense? Ghazali the man was on something else. That if you think you have, in Arabic or in English, if you think that you have sincerity, right, then your sincerity is in need of sincerity, meaning your sincerity needs to be sincere. إخلاصك تحتاج إلى الإخلاص. G.
But if your purpose was to revive the Sharia of Sayyidina Rasulullah,
that's the most important thing. What is the purpose of knowledge? Revive what the Prophet did. Before, religion reformed sinners. Today, sinners reform religion. We all need 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 Islam. Someone came to me, they said, I'm a progressive Muslim. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm Allstate? Like, what is that? Is your insurance company? Like, what do you mean you're a progressive Muslim? Islam itself came as a progressive concept. And Islam has its limitations, so that something does not go beyond what its limitations are. The concept of the intellect. Today we're sitting and we have our debates on how sexuality should be, or this and that. What happens 100 years from now if somebody comes and says that why is pedophilia seen as something so negative? Because, it's an attraction, I'm born with this gene or whatever. What would you give that argument to that person? Or that person is a murderer that comes and says, well, this was a gene that was in me, and therefore I did it. And therefore I had no control over it. So Islam goes beyond those discussions and says that gene or no gene. We're not here to talk about what you have in you or what you have on you. No. We're here to talk about that these are the parameters that a society should exist in for the safety and for the welfare of each and every one of us. So that I know that, okay, I'm on this side. I understand that I'm in a safe space. That I'm here to worship Allah and I'm going in a safe space. I'm on this side, I'm in a safe space. But when that safe space also becomes into question, because our prayer is a very physical prayer. And the way you stand behind. Now, if you know that, okay, I could be viewed differently, anyone would feel uncomfortable. I'm the imam in the front, I'd be even more uncomfortable. So there's this whole philosophy of general welfare that comes forward. Anyway, go ahead.
And to train your character and break the nafs al-ammara.
Two things. Train your character, make yourself better, make your akhlaq better. And last thing, nafs ammara. What's nafs ammara? Anyone know?
Commanding the evil.
There are three types of nafs. For those who went to the disease of the heart class, they heard this point before. But I'll repeat it for the sake of those who haven't. There are three types of nafs. The first one is called nafs ammara. The second is called nafs lawwama. And the third is called nafs mutma'inna. Nafs ammara comes from the Arabic word amara. Amar bil ma'ruf. What does amar mean?
Command.
To command. Your nafs ammara is a rebellious nafs. You know when you go into a rebellious stage? Just want to chill, don't want to talk to anybody, just want to relax, go party. You don't want to be bothered by anybody. Like, you just go down that, this is an 8 blunt weekend, right? This is it. Like, this is what we want to do. We just want to chief the whole weekend, or we want to go out to this city, Houston, Austin. We just want to chill the whole weekend. We don't want to worry about any single thing, right? This is nafs ammara. It is constantly telling you how to do more wrong. It's the rebellious one, and it's the lowest nafs. It's the worst nafs. The second one is called nafs lawwama. And most of us have this nafs. When that nafs is unchecked, it becomes nafs ammara. And when it's kept in check, it becomes nafs mutma'inna. Lawwama comes from the Arabic word malama. What does malama mean? La yakhafu lawmata la'im. What is malama, la'im? What does that mean? Blame. You know the one that reprimands you? The one that, as they say in Urdu, dantna. Right? That they reprimand you. It's that nafs that constantly knocks you in the head. After you commit a sin, you're like, I shouldn't have done that. And you slip, you're like, and you have that regret. We all have our private sins. That when we slip, we're like, when we're doing the sin, we're super happy. But when that sin is over, you're like, oh my God, I should not have done that. That's nafs al-lawwama talking to you. And the last one is called nafs mutma'inna. It comes from itminan. What does itminan mean? It's an Urdu and Arabic word. What does itminan mean?
Peace, relaxation.
Yeah, you're content. Nafs mutma'inna is content with the rules of Islam. In this survey that I did, one of the leading causes, 65% of people who took the survey said that Islam's excessive rules are the cause for their spiritual crisis. That the fact that there's so many rules in Islam is the cause of their spiritual crisis. That's higher than any other deficiency we heard, and that's even more than pornography and everything else. And I was even shocked by that many percentage of people thought that. And why are we so rebellious against the rules of Islam? Because we have nafs mutma'inna inside us. Nafs ammara inside us is constantly rebelling. We haven't understood what is our purpose in life. That's why we're not content with the rules. We don't understand it. If you are playing a game of football or basketball, you don't sit there and be like, oh my God, there's too many rules in this game. No, but you live by those rules. You'll call a foul when someone messes up. Because you understand the rules and you understand that without those rules, there'll be chaos on the court. So in this court of life, if these rules aren't there, these files aren't put in place, then there will be chaos on earth. And that is why the perspective over here as well. That the one who understands the rules and the value, and if someone like me, jahil like me, gets on the court, I doesn't know which net is mine and which net is theirs, what is double, triple, what is travel, I don't know any of these things. Okay, I know a little bit. But I'll come and be like, what, this is a foul, what's too much, I don't want to deal with this game. I don't want to have anything to do with it. No, but in the rules is where the game becomes even more fun. But the one who walks in and says, I just want to shoot around. Now, to him, that freedom should be happiness. And the restriction of rules should be less happiness. But in the restriction of the rules is more happiness. Because with that, then you can enjoy and go further. And the game of life is the same situation. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا اللَّعِبْ وَلَهُ. The game of life, what is this life? It's just a game. So anyway, so going on, the rules, right? So the concept of it. So nafs mutma'inna goes to having content and understanding that this is what is the laws and the purpose, and without it, we won't be content, right? So now, Allah mentions all three nafs in the Quran. He mentions nafs ammara, but He doesn't mention it Himself. He quotes Yusuf alayhi salam, where Yusuf alayhi salam says, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. That I don't say that I was, we're all, I'm not trying to be holier than thou here, but everyone's nafs commands them to do bad. Allah doesn't directly mention nafs ammara. So this shows you where you are in the eyes of Allah. The second one is nafs lawwama. This one, everyone feels, when you sin, you feel like, oh my God, I'm too far away from Allah, I can't come back to Allah. But that knock that's coming on your ear, Allah tells you how important it is. He says, وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ. La uqsimu doesn't mean I don't swear. It means I swear. This la is zaida. It's extra. So it literally means Allah is saying, I swear by that nafs that you have. And Allah only swears by things that are of utmost importance. وَالشَّمْسِ وَالضُّحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا وَالضُّحَى وَالْفَجْرِ وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى. All of these great entities that Allah loves, that's when He takes a qasam on. So that struggling iman you have, Allah says, I take an oath on your struggling iman. Okay, that's all He says in nafs al-lawama. However, when it comes to nafs al-mutma'inna, the one who is content with the rules and content with Allah and finds peace and strives and perfects their nafs, breaks their nafs, they constantly humble themselves. They don't go into their desires. Al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu. You're measuring, you're doing muhasabah of your nafs. You're constantly weighing it and seeing what's right and what's wrong. That nafs, Allah has a full-blown conversation in the Quran with. The first nafs, He doesn't even mention it by himself. He quotes a Nabi mentioning it. The second nafs, He takes an oath. وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ. And that's all He talks about it. But nafs mutma'inna, He says, يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ. Oh, nafs mutma'inna. He's talking to it. Ya is for a conversation. يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ. Irji'i. Come back. إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. To your Allah. Radiyatan maradiyya. You're happy and I'm happy with you. This is the conversation of Allah's with this nafs. Come back to your Allah. He gives the possession of the lordship to the nafs. It's yours. I'm yours. Because the other nafs, He doesn't say Rabbuk for that. That means with nafs mutmainna you get Allah. And what Jannah isn't the epitome of what we attain. Attaining Allah is the highest reward anyone can attain. So then Allah says, Irji'i ila rabbik radiyatan maradiyya fadakhuli fi ibadi. Enter my servant. So He says when it comes to Lord, He says, I'm yours. When it comes to the servant, He says, you're mine. Fadakhuli fi ibadi. Enter my servant again. He was mine. She was mine. Wadakhuli jannati. And enter my Jannah. It's all mine. Whatever is mine, it's yours. This Jannah is not yours. Now you enjoy it. So this full-blown conversation happens with the nafs. Go ahead, continue.
The poet spoke truly when he said, to spend the night awake and weeping for others than Allah is a foolish waste.
How many nights do we spend crying for this boy or this girl? And when we could just shed one tear for Allah, and Allah will change our fates. No, if this relationship is making you cry, the only relationship that should make you cry is a relationship with you and Allah. No other person's worth the tears. You don't get nothing out of it. But when you cry for Allah, that one tear can extinguish the fire of Jahannam. سَبْعَةٌ يُذِلُّهُمُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلُّهُ. 7 that get the shade of Allah's throne the day no one gets the shade. One of them is the person, رَجُلَتْ فَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. By himself, a person cries in front of Allah, 1 tear. Others are not worth your tears. They're not worth it. But one in front of Allah, you'll see your life change. Try it sometime. 2 a.m. we're talking to. They're not worth your conversation. All you have to do is put the phone to the side and spend 5 minutes talking to Allah. That's it. Or 1 minute talking to Allah. 30 seconds talking to Allah. It doesn't matter how long. 10 seconds. If all you know how to say to Allah is, Ya Allah, forgive me, that's a full-blown conversation with Allah. Tomorrow you'll learn how to say more. But we'll sit there on a group chat and we can literally talk for hours and hours and hours. But when it comes to talking to Allah, we're lost it with words. When you know someone and you connect with someone, you can talk to them forever. Like with your friends, you don't meet them every single time. You're like, oh, what are we going to talk? What's the topic of the discussion today? No. You just come, you just chill with them, and the conversation just pops off. And you can go to 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and the conversation is just rolling. It goes all over the place. But how much can we talk to Allah? How long we can do dua is our connection with Allah. It's free, unlimited minutes, unlimited texting to Allah. Well, you can text to Allah, but Allah has a phone number too. It's 24434. 2 rakats Fajr, 4 rakats Zohar, 3 rakats Maghrib, 4 rakat Isha. 24434. All you have to do is just try it once. Just try it once. You know, like I thought boba tea was really bad until someone got me taro milk tea. And like now I love boba tea. I thought sushi was so bad. I was like, sushi, raw fish. I'm never gonna eat this. And then I tried it once. And now like I love sushi. Just gotta try it once. Just gotta try it once. Take a step to Allah. And Allah says, if you take a step to me, I'll come running to you. But just take a step. Gee.
7th council.
That's it. Any questions? We'll give you 1-2 minutes for questions, inshallah.